Today, I'm going to talk to all those people who feel they're actually really struggling to achieve success. You feel that you have done everything possible to achieve the success, but yet you are still not achieving that success. You feel you're mentally exhausted, mentally tired, mentally frustrated. You feel that you don't have the peace within you any longer. You are feeling very unhappy, disappointed. You feel like, why do you even exist? You feel like you're not good enough for anything. You feel that, wish you never existed in this world. It could be any of your reason, and I understand your situation. I really do. So let's talk about it and let's try and find a solution to so that you can really progress and maybe turn the situation around and really achieve what you really want to do. Now, first thing, very 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 important thing, I would like to ask you, because the reason I'm asking you is because I really do that in my life, and just because I do it, I feel that a lot of things has made situations or circumstances, anything you can say, has really been in my favor just because I do that one particular thing without fail every single day. Because we are just humans. This world is full of human beings. But above all of us, there is one who is our creator, and he knows what you really want, and you should be getting in your life what you deserve. So who am I talking about is our God. I want you to understand the first important thing is your connection with God. You have to be really, I would say, like an innocent child speaking to God every single day. Yes, do whatever prayers you need to do, but don't do it because you have to do it. Do it because you want to do it. Because here, making that connection with God is very very important. Following his footsteps are very important. Footsteps will be what God tells us. Do not like lie to yourself or anybody else. Do not do anything wrong. um, Put all your heart and mind in whatever you're doing. Pay attention, stay focused, and you just take one step, and I will take 1,000 steps with you, and together we'll make it possible. This is true words which I've heard, that God says, get up, go ahead, do what you want to do, but do not forget me. You remember me, and I will always be by your side to help you to achieve whatever you want to do in your life. How many of y'all, the moment you all get up in the morning, the moment you open your eyes, how many of y'all actually thank God for a new day? How many are really grateful to God for all the abundance, all the barakat you have in your life? Is God is the first person you remember the moment you open your eyes in the morning, because it's a new day, a new beginning, and a lot of good things are going to happen in that day. But unless you do not take the blessings from God the first thing in the morning, I will say, it's not going to be an easy day. It will be a difficult day because you're going to do everything on your own. But with the help of God, the moment you get up in the morning, if you remember him, if you thank him, if you speak to him, he will make your day easier. He'll make sure that he walks with you, he's by your side, he guides you, and he leads you to success. Because I can really tell you with my experience that holding God's hand, you can really get that success what you're looking for. But without him, listening to some videos, reading some books on success, and taking advice from a human being. Yes, it can take you to success, but it doesn't guarantee you that you will get success. Maybe the other person has become successful in whatever he has done, but he must have not shared everything how he got the success. You need to really understand that if you have God's help, everything becomes very easy in your life. You get your connection with the right person, you do the right thing. The only thing what is really needed from you is to invest your time in praying, in building that connection with God, so that you communicate with God, tell him mentally how you feel. It can be any situation, the worst to worst situation in your life right now. Rather than actually speaking to maybe your family members, your relatives, your colleagues, or anybody else in this world, did you really take a step forward to speak to God? How I do? I sometimes, yes, mentally I speak to him, like I have a connection with God. For me, like I don't have to wait for a particular time, I don't have to wait for a particular moment. I don't, whichever state I am, if I am like working, if I am eating, if I'm walking, any state I always remember him and I speak to him, because you don't need to have like a particular time or a place to remember God. You can remember God at any time and anywhere you are. So for me, how I communicate, sometimes if I'm really okay, this will sound crazy, but what I do is sometimes I'm doing something and something goes wrong, and I get really angry on myself, and then I fight with God, but in a way wherein, I just ask him, are you really with me? Are you really watching me? Are you really, holding my hand? Are you really there for me? Where are you? Why can't, like, I can, why can't I feel you, that your presence is there? What am I doing wrong? And sometimes I get angry with him, I fight with him, because I love him the most. And sometimes I write a letter to him because I don't know how to communicate, so I find it difficult. So I write letter, and then the next day when I'm neutral, then I read the letter and I laugh and I say sorry to God and I burn the letter. But it's just that for me, without God, I don't feel anything what I've achieved in my life today is could have been possible, because you don't know how he can help you. You don't know, because you know what, we are his creation. This whole world is created by God, everything is created by God. You think like, if we are his creation, you think like he's not going to help us? He know exactly what you need in your life. If your heart is really simple, and if you really speak to him like an innocent child, telling him, if you've done a mistake, tell him that. If you have done something wrong, tell him that. If you're struggling, tell him that, because you don't know what magic God can do in your life to change that situation. Because you can have anything in this world which is man-made, but one day or the other, that thing is going to really get destroyed or will go away from you. But what God sends you in your life, he can never take it back, because he gives it to you. And with that, it could be whatever your situation is, if you hold his hand and ask him to be with you, you pray from your heart, let your heart and mind together get connected so strongly that you really speak to him with full heart, with your full mind, and believe that, tell him, I'm in this situation at the moment, this is what I started, this is what I did, this is where I am today. I don't know what I need to do further. I'm so confused. I feel like mentally frustrated and tired. I don't know what to take the next step forward. Can you just help me? Pray to him, tell him truly every single detail, and surrender that situation to God. Leave it to him. Let him do. Because if you're only going to do everything, then what God is going to do? I'm like, you need to leave something to God to sort it out, right? You are not God. You're just a human being. You can do up to certain thing. You can't do like everything. That's the reason we have God, and He is something who can make something, God can make something impossible possible. You need to have strong faith and you need to believe. So speak to God, make a connection with God first, speak to Him, tell Him your problem, ask Him to forgive you if you've done something wrong. Surrender yourself, surrender your feelings, surrender your frustration, surrender your irritation, anything which is there, surrender it to Him and ask Him to help you. And you see, if you really trust, this is very important, if you really trust that He will help you, not just in 1 second or 1 minute or one day, but if you feel truly 100% faith that He will help you, He will definitely help you. All you have to do is tell Him the problem and let go. Let God handle it. He will handle it, because I have seen that anything, if I tell Him, He takes care of it. For example, I'll give you an example. So I was in this job for almost 7 years, and I was really struggling, because I was working 12 hours a day, and I used to even work on Saturdays, and it was really exhausting because I was given new projects to improve the growth of the company and to really bring change in the way the operation is performing. But I never got selected whenever I applied for a promotion. 7 years of my life, I kept working hard, performing, but I was never selected. And for me, I used to pray in God, but my mistake was I never told God to help me, to bring me out of that situation. One day, something really disturbing happened. I had applied for a position in the company, and I was waiting for the interview, but from the random person, I came to know that because of favoritism, that position is already going to go to that person who the management has selected. So no point in actually giving your 100% interview, because everything is settled. And that really made me upset, because I feel that I never knew there's something called office politics, etc. So that day was a day I literally told God, enough, done, enough is enough. I just want you to help me out. And I'll tell you what happened. So I was an academic coach, and I used to train the new starters, and I used to make sure that they performed really well. So I had to do their progress report, etc. When I was in academy, I came across one person. She just asked me two questions. First thing, you're so highly educated, why are you struggling in this company for the last 7 years, and why you're not getting progression? Have you thought about it? And second thing, she told me, so she gave me the number, and she told me to speak to that person and ask that person what are the different courses they are offering there in their academy. Try to take one course and just leave this job. And I was like, I was still thinking, because you've been with company for 7 years, etc. And always I used to hear from my mom and dad, why are you still in that company, why don't you change your job if you are suffering and struggling so much. And I said, like, no, you know what, things will change one day. But it didn't change, and shit was happening. So finally I took the advice from that girl. I spoke to the person, and he told me there's one particular high in demand, but the only thing is, like, you will have to do that course with the India timing around 2 in the morning. So I was like, 2 in the morning, and that's gonna be like almost for 6 months. will I be able to do it? But I said, like, shit is happening, let me do it. So I signed up for the course, and to be honest, while in that academy, that girl, I felt like she only came in that company to give that message to me, for me to do that course, to get out of the company, because she was there in that company just for 1 month, and then she just resigned. And that course changed my life so much that today, touchwood, i'm in the I'm in a very good job. I feel that God really sent her in that company just for me to tell me, enough of the struggle you have done in this company. Now is the time for you to just move on. Do this course and get out of that company and try getting a better job. And from there, my journey started. I completed the course, I got a better job, and I kept getting better jobs. So what I'm trying to tell you is, for 7 years, I struggled. I thought it's possible. I read some amazing book of, like, using some amazing techniques, and I took some really amazing advice from a lot of successful people, what I need to do. I did all the shit, but nothing worked out. The only time when I really, truly, truly prayed to God is a time when everything changed, when everything started becoming beautiful, everything started getting solved on its own. It was magical. Why? Because from my heart, truly, I told him everything, told God everything, the struggle I'm feeling, the pain I'm feeling, the mental torture I'm going through. I'm mentally tired, exhausted. I told him my honest feeling of how I'm feeling. And I just told God, please, please, please forgive me. I don't know what wrong I've done in my life, but please, please forgive me and just help me to become successful. I really want to live a happy and a peaceful life. And from that point, it took, like, I wouldn't say it took a long time. Couple of because I was doing the course, and it took like 6 months time for me to finish the course, and I was like dedicating. I was getting up every morning 2 a.m. I was doing the course, I was praying, and then I used to go a little bit sleep, then get up again and get ready to go to work. So I really put myself into, like, believing in God, having faith, like, worshiping, in a sense, praying. Being a part of the spiritual university, I know something called Raj Yoga meditation, and for me, by performing that meditation every single day, morning, evenings, and making that connection with God really helped. And that day, I realized, no matter what you want in your life, if you have that strong connection with God, you don't have to cry, you don't have to struggle, you don't have to feel it's not possible, because God makes it possible. Just work hard, and He will turn that time for you to bring that success in your life, because it's only God who can do that. And this is my honest, true feeling, what I've shared with you, that the moment I was in connection with God, and I knew I was doing wrong, I was not praying, and I was not like speaking to God, and my connection to God was not there. And when I actually built that connection with God, I did my Raj Yoga meditation. I wrote letters to God, and I was communicating with Him, trying to clear my heart, clear my mind, and God really helped me. If God can really help me, I'm sure God can really help you too. Since you have watched this video and you know how important it is to make the connection with God, please, please, please sit in a place, in a quiet, relaxed place. Write down whatever you're going through on a piece of a paper. Write it down. And then write everything, whatever is that problem, in detail. Write it down, how you're feeling, your struggle, everything you have gone through till today. Just write it down on a piece of a paper, and just before going to sleep, read that paper to God, read that letter to God, and just let go. Surrender it to God, and go to sleep beautiful, like go to sleep peacefully. Or who doesn't want to do it at night, what you can do is the first thing you get up the next morning, read that letter to God and surrender that problem to God and let God handle it. He will take care of it. Trust me, He will really change that situation for you. If you're thinking of writing the letter to God with of all your problems, telling Him about everything, and once you let go, once you surrender everything to God, and you know and you believe that He will change it. He will help you out in that situation, and everything is going to be beautiful. And if really things become beautiful, please do come back on this same video and leave your comment, because I would love to know how your life changed. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.